This is Hebrew Language Lab unit on the Daghesh, the belly button dot that shows up in various letters in Hebrew. So, we know the Daghesh as the dot that shows up in the middle of the letter, the so-called belly button dot. Almost every Hebrew letter may show its Daghesh. There are, in fact, two kinds of Dageshim. There's so-called light Daghesh. In Hebrew, it is called the Daghesh Kal, and for academics, it's called Daghesh Lene in Latin. The other Daghesh, obviously, if not the light Daghesh, is the strong Daghesh, the Daghesh Chazak in Hebrew, and in Latin, for academics, Daghesh Forte. You'll notice, however, that when we talk about Daghesh and remind you that the Daghesh may change the sound of the letter, but in no case does it change the meaning of the word. Let's go take a look at the Daghesh Kal. This Daghesh will appear in 6 letters called the Beged Kefet letters or the Beged Kefet letters. And here's why they're called the Beged Kefet letters. These are the 6 letters, and if you read them as 2 words, Beged Kefet, or if you will, Beged Kefet. This Daghesh will appear in any one of these letters when one of these Beged Kefet letters begins a word, as you will see here. Beseder, Beseder, Torah, Kamocha, Degel, Purim, Goral. It will also show up in the Beged Kefet letters when it comes in the middle of a word after a stop vowel or silent schwa. So we have, for example, here, be, the beginning of a word, shoch, stop sign, be, cha, and where the Beged Kefet letter here gets a Daghesh because it comes after a stop sign. Be, shoch, be, cha. And in this word, mal, stop sign, kenu, Daghesh in the Beged Kefet letter. Sometimes, however, the Daghesh that would normally come into a Beged Kefet letter gets dropped if the preceding word ends in a vowel and the 2 words are closely connected. So, for example, we have here, mi chamocha, where we'd expect the Daghesh Kal in the K letter, or Ch letter, but because of the vowel in the preceding word, it loses it and is read as mi chamocha. Same thing over here. Ki mitzion, teitze, vowel, Torah, without the Daghesh Kal in the Beged Kefet letter. So remember, however, that in current Hebrew pronunciation, only 3 letters of these 6 will change their sound due to a Daghesh, and that is B and V, K and Ch, and K and Ch when this letter shows up at the end of the word, P and F. Let's go take a look now at the Daghesh Chazak, the strong Daghesh. This Daghesh can appear in any letter except for the so-called guttural letters, the R, H, the silent letter, another silent letter, and the Ch. It may also show up in the Beged Kefet letters, but it will show up as a different kind of Daghesh, as a Daghesh Chazak, as we will see. Now, the Daghesh Chazak will appear for various grammatical reasons. Sometimes it will show up as a kind of apostrophe when a Hebrew letter is dropped. For example, in this word, ha-morah, there is a Daghesh in the second letter because the ha is really assumed to be a prefix for the definite article hal. But because the L is a weak letter, when it's joined to its noun, its next word, the L sound gets dropped and it gets replaced by a Hebrew apostrophe, this Dagesh Chazak in the next letter. As it does in English, think of the word don't with an apostrophe because the apostrophe stands for the dropped O in do not. Another place where you'll see the Dagesh Chazak is a sign of a doubled letter. This is where Hebrew would require the consonant to be repeated. For example, in this word, medaber. Now this Dagesh in the B is a Dagesh Chazak, a strong Dagesh, not a Dagesh kal, because obviously it has a vowel in front of it. But it is a B because the dot doubles this letter. So it would be considered as medab ber. And so we have in the same kind of thing in the word Shabbat, in Hebrew, Shabbat, but the Dagesh there is a doubling of the B letter, and that is why in English, when we write Shabbat, we write it with two B's. And another example of where you will see the Dagesh Chazak is it will show up in certain conjugations and certain verb forms. Now, we'll get to some oddities, and this is really some oddities for Hebrew language specialists. And that is where the Dagesh Chazak gets dropped. Certain letters may drop their Dagesh Chazak when they have the Shva, this little sign underneath it, under them. These are the letters which are a sibilant, an S sound, or these letters, K, N, M, L, V, and Y. Put them all together as a mnemonic, and we call them the Skinem Levi letters. Skinem Levi. There's a good mnemonic and a good way of remembering these letters when they will lose their Dagesh Chazak, their strong Dagesh, when they have a Shva under them. Another oddity is where the Dagesh Chazak gets added. Some letters may show the Dagesh Chazak to emphasize the letter's pronunciation when it has a Shva underneath it. This is called the Dagesh Forte Dirimens in Latin, and what it will do is instead of making this into a stop sign, it will make it into an sound. So it becomes inve, or in this word, ikevot. Another example of where you will see an added Dagesh is in the first letter of a word when the preceding word ends in A with a H, or simply an A sound, or that it has a hyphen or a makaf in Hebrew that joins the two words. This Dagesh is called the Dagesh Forte Conjunctivum because it joins the two words. As you will see here, A, Si, Ta, ending in A, and the Dagesh in the following letter, Zot. Or with the hyphen, Ze, Shmo, with a Dagesh Forte, Dagesh Chazak, in the following letter. The same thing over here, Ma, this issue, now adding with a hyphen, making a Dagesh in the following letter, Ma Lecha. One other item is the mapik. It's not really a Dagesh, but it is a dot that is put into the H to aspirate the letter. And this is put in, a lot of words end off with A, with a Hey, but to distinguish it, to show that it is a possessive suffix, an extra dot, this mapik, is put into the Hey to show that it is the sign of a possessive suffix and not part of the original word. So we have all the Dageshes, the Dagesh Lene or Dagesh Kal, the light Dagesh, the strong Dagesh, and the places where it shows up, where it may drop, and lastly, the mapik that goes into the letter Hey. This is obviously lots of technical stuff. For those of you getting on into reading and comprehension, this will be important for you. But for the most part, for basic Hebrew reading, this is just an extra oddity for your edification. Hope you enjoyed it. See you on other units and other places on my channel. Bye.